Wait for it, and we're live. Hey, all you crazy sci-fi and fantasy fans, it's time for your daily dose of shenanigans over here at the Blasters and Blades podcast. Just a couple of nerdy veterans and one chaos coordinator geeking out over our science fiction passions and fantastical fantasies. A place where magic is king and the sky is the limit and space is the place. We are the podcast that puts the fun in dysfunction. So without further ado, first we got to hit the elephant in the room. Jana, we messed up.
We did. We did not. We never messed up.
I can't say a couple nerdy veterans and one chaos coordinator because we also have a chief shenanigator now.
It's right. We have to fix the intro.
We'll do better next time. It's all Nick's fault. He's not here.
It's always Nick's fault. I also screwed up. My light's not on, so I look really weird. Let's fix the light.
All right. So as we get this started, this is round two Electric Boogaloo of the Feral Magic episode because we had so much left to discuss because, I don't know, we spent about 45 minutes talking about coffee, as one does.
Yes, it does.
So first, Miss Kacey Ezell, introduce yourself to our listeners and viewers at home.
Okay. Hi, I'm Kacey Ezell. I write emotionally charged adventure, fantasy, and science fiction. Yeah, I really like my husband.
Aw. I mean, he is a certifiable badass, so that helps.
Accurate.
Yeah, he's a badass. That's for sure.
And you assist the writing community by telling them helicopters don't work that way. None of it works that way. Stop doing that.
I mean, occasionally, yeah. I am known as the helicopter chick in some circles. So I am, however, I do not claim to be the only person to have ever flown helicopters, just so everyone's aware.
Sure.
Absolutely. I will say that my claim to fame is to note I wrote a short story with his wife, and because we were both Army, we gave Chris Denote, who's if you don't know, he's a colonel in the Air Force when he retired.
Yeah.
Your listener.
Yeah.
We gave him Forrest Whitaker eye when he read our story about a pilot. So I call that a win. I mean, we fixed it, but I still call that a win.
That's pretty good.
Sure.
Some kind of win.
Sure. Yeah.
Marissa's like, it's something. I don't know if I'd call it a win, but it's something.
Yeah. I mean.
All right. Speaking of Marisa, if you want to introduce yourself to our listeners and viewers at home.
Yes, I am Marisa Wolf. I write science fiction and fantasy that ends in hope. That is the only promise I will give you. No promises about the path along the way.
Is hope the name of the sword that cut your head off?
I make no promises.
Hope and kindness.
Spoilers.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. All right, and last but certainly not least, we have Miss Melisa Olthoff.
Hey, I'm Melisa Olthoff. I write sci-fi and fantasy, and I always sneak in romance because I write what I love to read. And y'all, it is a Monday when we are recording this, and it has been a Monday, so here we go.
So speaking of, this is because there were some scheduling issues where I accidentally double booked something. We're actually recording this the day before it goes live. So if you haven't already, register for the Dragon Award so you can vote because her cover artist is one of the nominees for best art. You have the cover of your book. We can show it real quick, and I'll do a solo of that. So this art right here is up for a Dragon Award for best cover art. I think that's a new category too.
No.
So it's not a new category, but my cover is not the only one that has been nominated. Casey show off Blood of Her Father, which is also nominated for best illustrated.
Can we see it, Casey?
So Marisa and I wrote this book together and released it last January. And the art is by Sam Kennedy, and it is beautiful.
I dig it.
Also, just to note that is a collector's copy version of the book in which it has.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I ran out. This one is misspelled.
Yeah, that's collector.
What was misspelled?
Edition. Yeah, written by Marisa.
We hate her. She sucks.
The extra.
They misspelled Marisa's name. So
but that's
I might not have done that on the first few episodes she was on the podcast.
It happens. Clearly it happens. But that is not Sam Kennedy's fault. He is the amazing artist of Blood of Her Father. It's such a fun book. And this is my second year with a Sam Kennedy nomination.
Yeah, it is.
Dragon Town Awards. It's pretty cool.
That's right.
So if you
and it's beautiful. It's all beautiful. How are we supposed to pick between them? That's not fair.
I know.
We need more awards. More awards
for everybody.
Flip a coin.
And I will throw, dear listener, in the show notes, I will throw the link on how you can register to get the ballot. At this point, the nominations are closed and it's final ballots. And I think the vote goes up until the week of
Thursday
Dragon Con?
Dragon Con. Yeah, I think it's that Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah.
So you have the rest of the month to do it, but don't wait forever.
Almost. Yeah. Do it now. Just get it done. Be excited.
Yeah, just go right there. Just pause the video and go over.
And then come back. We're still here.
Super quick.
Our returning.
I have another one. Before we talk about that, or before
Yes,
we
does.
Yes, she does.
So my co-write with. So fun fact: this is also a Sam Kennedy cover, but it is not.
Oh, that is glorious.
Best cover. This one is. This is a nominee for Best Alternate History. It's 1919, The Romanov Rising. It's book 2 in our, sorry about my terrible nails. It's book 2 in our Romanov reign series that I co-wrote with Tom Kratman and Justin Watson. And this is our alternate history take on the Russian Civil War and what would happen if somebody rescued some of the Romanov children who survived to take the throne, or one of them does anyway. So this is also a finalist for Best Alternate History. So I would love it if you would consider voting for that as well.
I mean, Kacey's cool, but Justin's an Army boy made good. So, and we interviewed him about these books. I think it was episode 594, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
So he was the frustrating one where the internet gods did not like us, so we uploaded it like 9 times trying to get it right. And it went over 2 hours. I'm not saying it was my fault, but we did leave 2 history nerds alone unchaperoned. So
that's how they get you.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun though. I'm digging it. I'm actually got my credit coming up, and I'm hoping that's out. The audiobook's out. It wasn't last I checked. I know it was in production.
Yeah, I don't think it's out yet. I think it's still in production, but yeah, it's there. So.
I dig history, so we're there for it. Now, how many is in that series? Is it just the 2, or do you think you're going to go more?
Oh, we're definitely going to do more. There are 2 currently available. The first one is the Romanov Rescue, and then the second book is this one, 1919 Romanov Rising. So we just started working on Romanov 3. So yes.
And if you want to hear funny stories about how Tom Kratman almost lit his head on fire trying to test the lamps that they used in the story, you should listen to that episode.
I bet that was amazing.
It was very funny.
This is why women live longer. I'm just going to throw that out
there. So many reasons.
As the mother of both sons and daughters, I can confirm.
As long as he went out saying something like "Hold my beer" or "This is for science," it's always right, because that's a reason to
research.
For science.
Yeah. That's how that works.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Jana. We don't need to introduce you. Everyone knows who you are. You've been on the show a lot, but what have you been up to?
Hey, Jana.
I've been on the show a lot. Oh, what I've been up to is I've been up to some science fiction romance, and I've been up to some anthologies, and really, really busy. In fact, we have some anthologies coming out, Mr. JR. We have Savage Hunt is coming out. I think that's the 26th. And that's our one where the monsters get to be the point of view characters. And that was a really funky anthology to think of ideas for, because it's that big flip-flop of what happens when the monsters are the ones that you're the point of view for. So that one's coming up, and War Hamster's coming up, and we have a whole pile of anthologies. It's anthology season here.
We inherited some that were got lost in the sauce over at 3 Ravens. There's a lot going on over there, and rather than let it hold forever, he said, "Hey, JR, since you manage them and they have your name on it, just publish them." So we went from 0 to 60 to get them all out in under a month. So we've got 3 coming out because the authors have waited long enough. So
they are awesome. The read is great.
They're a lot of fun. So those should be coming out. And I was working on a certain story that involved having to describe women's clothing because normally I just write dead people. Instead, I wrote a fancy fantasy wedding scene. But because Jana said
an Elven fantasy wedding scene, which makes it even better.
But because Jana said I can't only describe the bodies, I did add a fight to the wedding, so someone had to die. Just cause. Anyway, all right. So this is episode 2 where we talked about feral magic because they're the Feral Ladies podcast, and it is a lot of fun. We will link to their podcast in the show notes. So if you want to hear 3 awesome people talk about awesome books, do you guys ever interview people?
We do.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yep. Well, yeah, we did once in a while before, and now we have really ramped that up.
So you used to bounce them between 2 different YouTube channels, and now that it's all dedicated in one place, it'll be a little bit easier, I think, for people to follow. So,
and our producer is slowly putting in old ones, so soon you'll be able to see all of them in one place.
Oh, that is awesome.
The best.
So because this is magic related topic, we're going to ask a magic related religion question. So what is your favorite magic power that you'd use if there were no consequences? And Kacey, since you suggested it, you get to go first.
Oh, so my
Marisa
normal
suggested it.
I was gonna say I think Marisa suggested this one, but I'll still go first. So I got to be honest, my normal flex with this question is, well, I already can fly, so I don't have to choose that.
Nice.
But I would probably choose teleportation. I think instantaneous teleportation of self and or things from point A to point B. Simply because logistics are hard, especially like when your best friends live far away and hang out with them and stuff like that. So, and baggage fees suck. That's another reason for teleportation.
100%.
Totally.
Just thinking about that today, actually.
Okay.
Like a bag for Dragon Con. I'm like, oh yeah.
Are you like
And baggage fees with books? Ugh.
Are you gonna do like the twiddle your nose like they did on Bewitched, or are you gonna open a portal and step through?
No, it would be more like it would be kind of more like opening a portal and stepping through. But the thing is that I think I'd set it up like the video game portal where there had to be like, an opposite side that was like an orange side and a blue side. So you'd have to like have communication with someone on the other end to open up the other portals. The other side of the portal so that you could step through to where you wanted to be.
That works. Okay. All right, Marisa, what power would you use and abuse?
We hate Marisa.
Yeah, it's Marisa. We're good.
Sorry, just because it came up.
I joke that Marisa is my alter ego and she a B word.
We don't like
her. Okay. The real answer, the absolute thing that I would absolutely want to do is communicate with animals. But like, I don't want to be a vegetarian. So maybe just like, so that's what, hence the no consequences, right? So I guess if that one doesn't work, controlling the weather.
Ooh.
Storm. Yeah.
Controlling the weather. Okay.
Yeah.
How would you abuse that though? Because that's the premise.
Oh,
by using it.
Yeah.
Hello.
We'll always have beautiful weather. Poop heads that try to like be awful would always have awful weather. And I think sometimes because like magnetic fields and gravity, all kinds of things affect the weather. So I would learn the vast reaches of my power and like, oh no, gravity just doesn't work on this person anymore. Bye. Oh, bye. Yeah. There'd be a lot less dumb people on Earth. I'm not going to no, that's not true. I have nothing against dumb people. There'd be a lot less obnoxiously awful people on Earth. I'm just saying. Who did? You got struck by lightning? You got drowned? Oh no, the ocean swallowed you. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Earth yeeted you into space. Oh, so sad.
Massive sinkhole right now.
Did you cut me off in traffic? Ooh, bad choice.
So we could finally see the rise in the much feared from the 80s quicksand.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Sudden quicksand pits that just magically disappear when like a cute kid walks by. Nope, not for you. You're good. Safe. Keep going.
I feel like we're discovering Maurice's villain origin story right now.
There's truth to that.
Maybe
so,
Yeah.
What about you, Melisa?
So similar to Marisa's, I don't want to talk to animals, but it would be rolled into this power where I am 100% going to admit that I was obsessed with animorphs as a kid. So I would love to be able to like shapeshift into whatever animal I want. Like land, sea, sky, I don't care. I just no bugs. I don't want that.
Fair.
No bugs.
You're gonna go full Ben 10 and have a watch to randomize it?
Oh, Ben 10 is amazing.
Oh my God, I haven't thought about that one in forever.
Right?
That would be fun.
Be like playing, well, I was gonna say Russian roulette, but that's probably not the analogy we want to use. We'll be rolling the dice. We'll go with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And without consequences, so I wouldn't have to worry about like, fleas or anything like that.
Sure. All right.
Yeah.
What about you, Jana?
Yeah, Kacey stole my very, very favorite one because so many of the people I love live far away from me, and I want to be able to just zap there and have it all be good. But if I have to share, no, I want to do healing. I am getting old, and I hate being old because younger me was really, really awesome when it comes to certain physical things and would run around with swords and whack people and get hit and all this, that, and the other. And because of that, old me has broken shoulders and broken back and broken hip. And I want to just zap it and make it, you get in the fight, you do the thing, and you finish. And there's healing potions and healing stuff. And you go, yeah, and now you're young and beautiful and you can run around and do all the things you want to again. And I want that. I want that for me. I want that for my kids because, mom kisses do heal stuff, but they're not quite as magical as I'd love to see this thing go. And now it's done.
I love it.
I go for it.
So
I support that.
First, I have a funny that since it recently found it, we're going to show everyone at home as the meme that's floating around that I had to share because Kacey's here. The U.S. Army posted a tweet that said, "It's the first day of summer. Are you doing something as cool as flying a UH-60 Blackhawk?" And some retired pilot said, "I'm an Apache pilot. I'm always doing something cooler than flying a Blackhawk."
Oh, harsh.
Burn.
Yeah. This is me laughing in Huey.
Right? So that's the funny thing is the Army always opens these questions up on their Twitter account and they never count on how that's going. Like they asked about something about, how cool it was to be married to the Army. And then you get all the Jody jokes that you can just imagine.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
They walk right into these. It's like they don't know who their people are.
Oh, no, they know. It's all about engagement.
Engagement, yeah.
So if I was going for power that I'd use and abuse, I'm definitely going for mind control. I would never pay for a parking ticket, speeding ticket, nothing. Nope, I am not the droid you're looking for.
I love it.
Fair enough.
Maybe I'd even get free refills at the bar or something. I don't know. Not too bad because I don't want to take advantage of people that have to pay for the stuff I use. So,
yeah, that's fair.
A refill every now and then would be cool.
Yeah, there are limits, but I like it. Yeah, that's legit.
Yeah.
I can't go full Marisa villain arc. I'm just not there yet.
Oh, a Marisa villain arc. Yeah, that'd be rough.
Marisa villain
I'm
arc would
told
be
if
awful.
I have to drive in Atlanta traffic, I might get there.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to be in Atlanta soon, so you're going to experience this. You might go full villain. It might happen.
That might be what does it. I know I've also driven in Boston, LA, Houston, Dallas, Atlanta. It hasn't happened yet, so it's coming.
Fingers crossed. All right, so
Tokyo.
Oh yeah.
when we post this, dear listener, you should tell us what magic power you'd use and abuse. Because we do want to know. All right. And what would be your idea of the most perfect ever magical companion? Kacey.
So I own 2 cats and I love them. They are cuddly, sweet, emotional support sociopaths is kind of how I look at them. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean
that coming, but
I didn't mean to make you joke. But yeah, so probably if one or both of my cats was, a magical being that could speak telepathically to me and also do these incredible magic spells. There was a book I read when I was a book series I read when I was a kid. By Rue Emerson, and the first one was called The Chronicles of Nadeo or Nadeo. I don't know how you say it. I only ever read it. But the main character had a sorceress cat as her she was a queen, so the cat was her advisor and her mentor in magic and stuff like that. And the cat's name was Nisana, and I always wanted a cat like that. So yeah.
Okay. Would you want to be able to talk to said cat or would just have the cat?
No, yeah, absolutely communicate with the cat. Yeah, for sure.
Hence the magic.
And have the cat communicate back,
When it felt like it, because it's still a cat.
Nah.
I mean, obviously.
What about you, Marisa? With one S, people.
Yes, you're doing great. If not a dragon, so this is my actual last name. So people do ask oh yeah, this is your pen name? Nope, this is my name. I want a magic freaking wolf that's big enough that I can ride and that it communicates and that every now and then when it needs to, it can summon its pack mates that just come hang out with us.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want. That'd be
You know,
amazing.
Well, if you're not going to choose dragon, then I'm going to choose dragon.
So
Well, you went first. I thought we could save.
I was leaving it open for you.
so Katie
Aw.
Cross actually wrote that.
We would
that
both
series.
choose dragons, and then also
Yeah.
magic
And then
cats and
also,
magic wolves.
that's right. That's right.
Marisa, Katie Cross wrote that series. It's called A Spring for Spears, and it's got
It's good.
basically giant wolves, Amarak wolves, and they ride them. It's basically like Dragon Riders of Pern, but with giant wolves.
Okay.
Oh, awesome.
I have read 2 of her other series. I have not read that one. Clearly, it has to go.
That's my favorite that she's written,
Oh my gosh.
which just makes me sad because it's only a trilogy, and I wanted more.
She's so great. God.
Yeah,
That's
she's
And she
really
narrates it. It's not
Yeah.
fair. She's good at all the things.
I know she's amazing.
She's amazing.
I love her so much.
But the
And she's
series
like a
is good. If
person.
you like wolves, and I do, it is amazing.
Me too.
I highly recommend A Spring for Spears.
Yeah, it's going right up. Let me write it down. God darn it, JR and Katie.
So while she's writing it down, what about you, Melissa?
So, well, I also would choose dragons. A certain griffin from my series named Felix would 100% murder me. Like somehow he would find a way and probably moo while he was doing it. But if I don't pick a griffin, I'm in trouble. So I pick griffins for very good reasons.
Yeah.
They're awesome, and everything is better with a griffin.
Okay. I mean, it's not like you're biased or anything, or don't have like, reasons.
I feel like there's a joke here about like some obligation to choose to ride something in your series.
Oh.
We're gonna
You're gonna
leave
make
that
AR
right there
blush.
because this is a family-friendly podcast.
Sure.
What happens
Use
in
your
next week?
imagination.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm not saying. Well, you know what? Leave it to your imagination. We're just
Just
gonna
don't say it. Don't say nothing. Not a smile, boys.
Feel free to cut that out if that's not
you're
right.
good,
I'm sorry, guys.
and if they want to know why that answer made us all laugh, they can go listen to your interview where we discussed this book series.
That's right.
There you go. There
Right.
you go.
There
Go
you
check
go.
out Mage Light. You'll see why I don't like choosing.
Jana?
In fiction.
In fiction, right. In real life, I have chosen, and his name is Easy, and he's amazing. But we discussed that already.
Yep, there we go.
Exactly.
Yes, I'm with the furred and the feathered. So
Mhm,
griffins, giant cats, giant dogs, you know, big and fuzzy and fluffy, and I'm good.
I love it.
And I will just have to have all of them.
Because why
That's-
choose? Am I
Exactly. There is a why choose in there.
Yeah.
My daughter always says that we live in too small of a place because when she grows up, she wants to do all of these things, and she wants to do wildlife rehab and all of this, that, and the other. And our yard is way too small for wolves. And I'm like, yes, and there's also city ordinances about that. And actually bring those kinds of things into the middle of civilization. So you will have to go out into the out in order to do that. And she's okay with that. She's going to go out into the out and find things to rehabilitate and fall in love with, and then try to convince me she should bring them home.
I already
So
love
I
it.
get it. I get it.
That's
It's true.
So I
All right, JR, what about you?
like Marissa, I do love the wolves ever since Belgariad by David Eddings.
Yes.
So I would want a wolf, but I would want the Imrak wolf Katie wrote about because it's large enough you could put a horse saddle on it and just ride it into battle.
Yeah.
It is
So it's like murder fangs that you can like ride into war. I'm totally there for that.
Murder fans.
Yeah, I dig that. But definitely you want to be able to talk to it because what's the point of a magical companion if you can't like
yeah, you
communicate?
have to be able to talk to
Right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep. Communication, 100%
Yeah,
important.
absolutely.
And if we have to pick something that that's not a creature, a ghost companion would also be cool because it could like go through walls for you and be a perfect reconnaissance person.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like how cool would that be?
Yeah.
Nobody we know because we don't want our friends to have to die to be our companion, but just someone cool.
Right. Just like a random ghost that we adopt.
Right.
From the 1600s or something. Like,
Yeah, they've been dead a long
nobody
time.
ever knew.
Have you noticed all the ghosts are always like from super old eras? Nobody's got like someone died talking about leave Britney alone, right? Like it's
I
always
love that meme.
That means
Yeah.
Like imagine your ghost is just it's Britney, bitch, in the 2 a.m. in your kitchen.
yeah.
That's funny.
All right. So the lastly, before we dive into the magical nonsense that brought us here is We are civilized human beings here at the Blasters and Blades podcast. We are no longer knuckle dragging troglodytes. So, coffee or tea, and what have you been drinking this week, Kacey?
I choose neither coffee nor tea. I drink sugar-free Red Bull. That is my poison of choice. That is what I have been drinking. So.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, sugar-free, so your doctor can't complain.
No, sugar-free because it tastes better.
Yeah.
All right, what about you, Marisa?
So for the first many decades of my life, I did not care what the temperature was. I drank hot coffee regardless. But this last year or so, I've had cold brew in my fridge, and I started making my own little creamers, and I have no regrets. I'm just drinking that several times a day, which maybe is unhealthy, but here we are.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Melisa?
The answer is always mocha. If I have something other than water, it's gonna be a mocha, and like usually I will just have one all day. I'm not having like a ton. I'm just slow rolling it all day.
Just nursing it.
Yep.
Meanwhile, I chugged my second one today. Like I was internet chatting with Melissa, and she was like, "I'll call in like 3 minutes." And I was like, "Okay, great. I'll go make myself a coffee." By the time she called, I had done so and finished it. So,
Yup.
Here we are.
Time zones are a thing, man.
Yeah,
that would be another
was
magical power we could use. Just abolish daylight savings time.
That'd be a great
Oh
power.
gosh,
Yeah.
that'd be nice.
All right. What about you, Melissa? What have you been drinking? Oh, you already answered. Jana, what have you been drinking?
I'm always drinking Diet Dr. Pepper, especially right now because it's really, really hot. But
It's summer. Don't you do the coconut ones in the summer?
I do the coconut ones year round. Okay, so if I really have my choice, it's a bottle of Diet Dr. Pepper and a can of coconut Diet Dr. Pepper. You pour those together over crushed ice. It has to be the cute little cubey things. And then you squeeze lime into it. And it's called the Dirty Diet Dr. Pepper, and it's amazing. And it's my very, very favorite. So that's what I fill my mug up with in the morning, and then I kind of sip it during the day. And when I'm not doing that, props to our friend Hunter, who's been on the show several times. She introduced me to the Circle, which is this water bottle, and then it has little flavor cartridges, which I bought for my husband because he thinks that water doesn't taste like anything. It's like, that's because it's water. It doesn't taste like anything, which to him is not a feature. He doesn't want to drink something that doesn't taste like anything. So we bought it for him, and he liked it so much that he turned around and bought bottles for my daughter and I, and we're all trying the different cartridges and stuff. So when I'm not drinking the Diet Dr. Pepper because it's very, very hot, we are hydrating and we are drinking the Circle. And the black cherry is pretty darn good. It's my current favorite.
Nice.
So, because of you, Jana, I did try the cream soda Dr. Pepper, and it was actually really good.
It's delicious.
I mean, I normally go back to, if I'm drinking Coke, it's Diet Coke because I like it tastes better. But I did try the cream soda Diet Dr. Pepper, and it was surprisingly good. They did not have the coconut one you talked about though, so that must be local.
Yeah, well, it's one of those that it comes and it goes, and so they'll bring it out, and for like 3 months it's available, and then it disappears for a while. And then it's like they find another stash somewhere and decide to send it out to us. So it's terrible at our house because every time it shows up on the shelves, my husband's like, buy 20 of them. Just buy them. I don't care what they cost because they're his very, very favorite. Is like, just buy them and we will. And so our garage has the shelf in it, and it'll just be stacked. Because he knows that it's going to go away, and he's found the add-in coconut, so we can kind of do it ourselves, but it's not the same. We have not figured out the exact recipe, and it makes him sad. So we are those people that there's a shortage because they're all in my garage.
I love it. You know what?
So, we just did the Sam's Club run, and I overestimated the amount of space in my fridge, so I didn't have room for the carton of milk for my own coffee. So I've been drinking hot chocolate this week because the kids, what do you call it? Dairy-free milk that he has to have takes up the space until he has some more cereal. So I've been doing hot chocolate this week.
Nice.
But I did take some of that hot chocolate, and we went to Dumars, which I don't know if you guys are on the East Coast. It is the oldest continually operating waffle cone maker in the United States. It was the first one in 1904, and they still use it at Dumars. And so we went out there and we tried that, and I had some of that this week too, which was kind of cool.
Nice.
It is a piece of history, so the calories didn't count.
That's true.
I
That
love
checked
the
out.
thing.
Yeah, that's great.
So,
So
all right.
maybe-
Well, we want to talk about feral magic. So we're going to pause for a moment while we shamelessly shill for the man, and then we're going to jump right in.
Nice.
They came in peace, or so the aliens said. Here are 18 examples of their lies. Venture into the unknown with us. Who is out there? What will they want from us? Join us in the adventure of First Contact. Each story explores a different facet of aliens meeting humanity. Buy Contact This, a First Contact anthology, and read some of the industry's best storytellers today.
All right. Thank you for sticking with us through that commercial interlude. And now we're going to talk all about all the cool things. So last time we talked about feral magic, and we sort of conceptualized that as wild or chaos magic. And then we ended with the idea of forgotten magic. But because we spent so much time talking coffee and Skyrim, we ran out of time. So we're going to pick up where we left off, is this idea of what is feral magic or wild magic. Have you guys conceptualized it deeper? Or are you still kind of weighing in on it?
I mean, I think feral magic or wild magic is probably, in the broadest terms, just magic that either the reader or the characters don't fully understand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't understand the ins and outs of it. And so that lends it an air of mystery, even above and beyond the sort of base level mystery of like, it's magic. We don't know how it works. It's just magic, you know?
So if chaos is what makes it the unknown, would elemental or earth magic, because, you know, Mother Nature is unpredictable, thus be wild magic?
I mean, I think humans could classify almost any kind of magic as chaos magic, right? Because it's the way I like magic is when it is too big for humans to fully understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that would include elemental magic. Like we think we understand the weather, but okay. Like we think we understand these things, but we don't. We're just adding some level of false control to make ourselves feel better. And that's how I feel it is with magic too. So yeah, I think an elemental magic or any kind of magic that is like a foundational part of the universe is going to be at some level to humans chaos.
I also really like the whole concept of like different types of magic in the same world. So you have like fully classically trained wizards who have rule books and like rigid guidelines on how to make their magic work. It's like baking. It's science. They start with A, they go through all the steps, and then they get the desired outcome every time. Whereas wild magic or chaos magic or feral magic is like more joyous and unfettered and free. And that's where you get like, you know, the two different schools of thought, like rivalries and everything. I think that's a lot of fun to play with.
Yeah.
But can you still have some rules around it? Because my daughter and I were talking about this. She's 12, so all magic is absolutely nuts. But she did have a point that she said, well, but what if I consistently want to make sure I'm getting a wolf? Because we were talking about summoning animals. And she's like, it would really, really suck, even though it would be kind of cool to say, I'm summoning my animal companion and have it show up. And now it's a whale and you're in the middle of forest. And it's like, that's funny the first time. But as a magician, it would get really, really obnoxious to keep going, come on, wolf, wolf, wolf. How many times do I have to cast before I get the right thing? So can we still have some kind of control to it, or do we always have to say, well, I might get a whale in the forest?
I mean, if it's chaos magic, then yeah, you can do your best to have rules, and maybe it works like 4 out of 5 times. But it depends on how you design the magic system, right? So like, you can make magic be baking, you can make magic be science, and like maybe in certain conditions, maybe like when the moon is full, magic is really cooperative, or when the tides are at their highest, magic is super controllable or predictable even. But then, when Mercury is in retrograde, good luck.
Going back to the cooking analogy, it's almost like the difference of people that stick with a strict recipe and those that cook with love, where it's just a little bit of this and a little bit of that. You never quite measured out the same every time.
Yeah. Well, and I think one of the things that can be fun about playing with different magic systems in your writing is having those, like Melissa said, kind of having those interact, whether it's like as a rivalry or, you know, two characters, one who's like, no, that's not how you do a healing magic. And the other one's like, yeah, you do. Look,
Yeah, watch.
all better,
Yeah.
you know, like, so,
You actually saw that in the first book in the David Eddings Belgarion series, where he's learning magic on accident. He's at this fair and he runs into this blind guy and he knocks him over, and somehow he's just learning his magic. He uses his magic and he cures this guy's blindness. And his grandmother, who he's raised as his aunt, so you shouldn't be able to do that because you couldn't heal his eye if you don't understand how the eye works. But he just did it.
Yeah.
Because it's more because nobody told him he couldn't do it yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that's another thing. That's another thing that I kind of love about, you know, my personal favorite system or type of magic is one that is in fact chaotic and unpredictable. And the people who utilize the magic, they think they can control it because they've learned that if they do X, Y, and Z, you know, 97% of the time they'll get results, you know, A, B, and C. However, there's always that 3% of error going on, or that it's always like a little bit of a gamble. There's always like, okay, we're going to play the odds on this one and see if, you know, if it's really going to work. And it gives that sort of false sense of security that like, yes, I'm in control. I know what's going on, when, like Marisa said, we really honestly don't have any idea. And that is a reflection of the real world that I personally love to include in my fiction through the magic system, because, you know, I mean, just look at, for example, just look at aviation, right? Like, we're pretty sure we know how it works, but sometimes shit just goes weird. You know what I mean? So, like,
Melissa, what's up?
Going back to what Jana said with the whole like summoning a companion thing, that reminded me of something that Mercedes Lackey did in the Valdemar series, where when the mage was ready, they would put out a call. And it wasn't like they were calling for a specific type of companion. They were leaving it up to the magic to determine what they need.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
I really like that aspect of wild magic, where you deliberately give up some of that control and let the magic decide for you.
Yeah. It almost adds like an element of like trust or faith in the magic. Yeah.
Well, and some of what this reminds me of is Bugs Bunny, because it's that whole, I'm remembering a particular episode where Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd is chasing him, and they're kids in this one, and they run off the edge of the cliff, and Elmer Fudd just keeps going and makes it all the way to the other side. And he says, what about gravity? And Elmer Fudd says, well, I haven't learned about gravity yet. So he leaves out a book that says the laws of gravity. And Elmer Fudd reads it, and the next time he falls off the cliff. And so it's that whole, once you understand it, then the rules start to affect you, versus, of course, I can just run across the air because I haven't learned about gravity, so gravity doesn't count until it does.
Yeah. Yeah, that's also a really fun aspect of like feral magic or wild magic or whatever.
Yeah, I do like
Just
that.
because you don't believe in gravity doesn't mean gravity doesn't believe in you.
I actually like that.
I actually kind of like that. Like the more you try and learn about magic, the more constrained you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I
That's
can
a
see
fun
that.
Goodness. Yes, that's great. Y'all, I'm so sorry. There is one single fly in this house, and I have locked it in the office with me, and it is punishing me. It has like zoomed to my camera, my screen, and my face. So if I just look like I'm having like twitching, it's not my ghost companion. It's this effing fly.
So
Maybe you're summoning feral magic.
I don't want to summon flies. It sounds terrible.
So obviously, like, we are a podcast that focuses on readers because, you know, there's plenty of How to Be Author podcasts. So as a reader, do you have a preference? Do you still like the wild, chaotic magic where the characters only think they understand it?
I mean, speaking for myself, I do, provided that the story is well written, right? Provided that it's not just something that the author didn't, you know, neglect to include. But if it's used to illustrate, you know, a theme of you know, characters dealing with things beyond their comprehension, or, you know, doing the best they can in tough circumstances, or whatever. If it's utilized properly, if it's incorporated properly into the story, and the story is good and the characters are cool, then yeah, I think it could really add something personally. Because otherwise it would just be science, you know.
It's true.
Science.
Science, which there's nothing wrong with science, but if I want to read science, I'll go read science fiction instead of magical fantasy. So
does that mean you don't like it when they get almost too scientific with the magic systems, the hard magics, I guess?
Me personally, I don't like it as much as I like the wild magic. I do still enjoy it when it's done well. Because again, it's all about the story, right? It's about the story and the characters and the dynamics, and that's what does it for me. The magic system is either going to add to that or detract from that. But if I had my preference, like all else being equal, I prefer a wild magic system.
I think I like that too. I think I'm with you on that one. I read science for the sci-fi for the science, and I read fantasy because sometimes you just want to be able to, do the unthinkable because magic.
I am, meanwhile, team why choose. If it's written, right?
Totally
right? But exactly to Kacey's point, it has to be well written. So like, I'm not gonna lie, I love a Brandon Sanderson. Like there are clear rules, and maybe everyone doesn't know them. But man, do I feel so clever when I figure it out, like right before the character's about to do something really baller. Same token, I get real tight. Like I have to read those books in hardcover, or not hardcover, physical copy, because I have to be able to flip to the back to be like, wait, what does this thing do?
What does this do?
Which is always, and always my favorite to have to check my reference charts. But like Sanderson does it really well. I really love it. David Weber in the Narfressa books, the Oath of Swords books, he has both, like Melissa was saying. So it's all like channeled through the gods basically, but there is wild magic where you're touching the fabric of the universe. And then there is very regimented wizard magic that's super bad because bad gods. And then there is mage magic that is very regimented and segmented. And it's fascinating because the wizards are like, I don't want to deal with a wild magic wizard. That is scary. They do weird shit. That's crazy. And I love that. I love all those layers. Again, David Weber knows how to write, so it's really good. Like, so I will take any kind of magic as long as the rules inherently make sense to the book and it is cool in the story. Rule of cool.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you even see it in a lit RPG where you can combine those things, because that one, most of them are pretty hard because you want a sheet and you want stats that go with it. So if you've got any random crap can happen, that's really hard to put into a sheet for somebody who's going, well, wait, where's that on their spell list, and why can we change those things? So I think sometimes the subgenre matters in that way, because you are writing and reading to the expectations of the tropes. But in our current D&D game, we've got a gentleman who has a percentage chance of chaos magic going off every time he casts something from his list. So he'll be doing regimented, and the DM will go, yeah, your chaos magic just went off, roll on the chart. And we never know what's going to happen when he rolls on the chart, because it goes all the way from things that are very good for the party to things that are very bad for the party.
Oh, that's really
and
fun.
So having the chaos magic goes off is exactly that. We don't know whether it's going to be good or bad, and it still works within the rule system because it's always that percentage chance that things are going to go wrong. And currently he's invisible and blue. And then we knew about the blue because he turned blue first and he became invisible later, and we're working on that. But it's kind of that fun, even within a highly regimented system like playing Dungeons and Dragons, that there are ways to tweak that in and let it be a force of chaos in the game.
Well, and I was going to add, one of the things that I think that you can still, because lit RPG is based on gaming, right? And gaming has, by virtue of using dice, there's an induced element of randomness. And so, depending on how it's done, how it works with the story, that induced element of randomness could be chaos magic. And it could really, again, add to the story and add to the character's ability or lack of ability to affect the world around them, similar to what you described with your chaos mage in your D&D party.
So one of the cool things I've seen done is when James and I were working together, he had one game system he designed where some of your magic came through. You had to pull a magic deck of cards, and when you pull a card, you'd randomly get. You never knew what your spell was, but if you wanted to cast them, you had to use it. I always thought that was a fun concept, much like what Jana described. Yeah. One of the things that people think of when they think of wild magic is, like druids, because it was chaotic, right? Well, I get more chaos than wild. Do you like it when you see that kind of magic where you still have the rituals, or when it's even more chaotic? Like, what's the level of chaos you're comfortable with? Do you still want the trappings of the rituals and the, shaking the stick at the north and the south and whatever?
I mean, I think it depends on what the story needs, right? What does the character need? Is the character the type of person who needs those regimented actions in order to wrap their mind around what they're doing? Then yeah, it's got to be there if that character is going to do it, But if the character's like, well, F it, we'll do it live. Like, okay, let's go, So it depends.
Sorry.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm talking too much.
No, you're not. Shut your face. You're beautiful, and I love you.
But don't shut your face, I guess, because you're not talking too much. Anyway, go, Melisa. Go.
It's Monday. Y'all are lucky I'm putting words in the correct order, more or less. So we did have a separate episode on this, but that was one of the things I really loved about Hit World Valkyries was the natural just variations of magic in that world. And I really do like when you get away from the rituals. I think Athena, my main character, her powers were 100% emotion driven, where she had to use the right set of emotions to access different parts of her power, which was super frustrating for her and really fun to play with. For enemies to lovers reasons, okay? But I really do like it when it's a little bit more chaotic and a little bit more feral and unpredictable versus baking.
Yeah, the enemies to lover one's always hard for me because, if you do it right, I tend to hate the enemy when they're enemy and I just want them stabbed in the face. So getting over that to the point where, they could do the smoochy just doesn't work for me. Just stab them in the face already.
I have an enemies to colleagues in my new book that I think works very well because they're definitely not for smoochy, but they are reluctantly on the same side.
But allies of convenience you can do with people you don't like. There's a level of vulnerability when they get to the intimate side of things. That
I agree. That's why they stop here. It's going to be a multi-book thing. Whatever might happen. But the enemies, because he actively tries to kill her first thing, but as soon as they meet, his immediate is killed, murder, dead. But then
but I'm from the South and he just needed killing as a valid excuse sometimes. So I mean, maybe she had it coming. I don't know. Maybe.
Can I read the book to see? That's the book.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me throw this solo so you can show it.
Yeah, we didn't have it.
For those that are just listening, tell us what the book's title is, please.
I would love to. It is called A Plague of Magic. It is a big score, a little dragon, and a whole lot of trouble. Woo. Thank you to my Vanna White. She is amazing.
Thank you, Vanna. We actually have an episode on this one that's been aired as well, where we talked about the book, so you can check it out. Sounds like a lot of fun. Yes. We had a lot of time because she kept reining me in because we'd be like, "No, that's spoilers, JR. Shut up." And so
don't ask me about this. I can't tell you.
Yeah.
So the good thing about my Swiss cheese memory and having been blown up as many times is that spoilers don't bother me. I'll forget. We're good.
Right. Right. For the record, Internet Streets, I told him all the spoilers off recording afterwards.
And I don't remember, so I'm going to have to.
I love it. Yes.
So when does this book come out, though?
Oh, September 2nd. You can visit anywhere books are sold. Or if you're at Dragon Con, you can get it.
There it is.
And in the show notes where we link to all the places where she has an author profile, so Simon Schuster, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, you can just go buy the book.
Yeah, totally can do that.
So do you guys have mechanisms for people that want signed copies? Or do they have to track you down a dragon?
It's easiest at a con. But and also usually Bane, because Bane has a bunch of what's the word? Sign sheets? What are those? They're like stickers.
If you hadn't asked me, I would tell you.
Yeah.
Book plates.
Thank you. Those. And then I can usually, if somebody reaches out to me on the internet streets, we can usually figure out a way to do it. So
Yeah.
Awesome. Because I mean, if you're going to build your library up, you want signed copies.
might as well. I usually sign with sparkly pens, so
Yeah.
bonus.
Absolutely. Wait, spark, like we talking glitter or just sparkles?
Yes, to both. Yeah.
No, that's true chaos magic right there.
There, like we've got gel that changes color and has sparkles. We've got metallic. We've got.
Oh, Marisa, you are my favorite. I love a good office supply haul.
Since we're talking wild magic, and you have magical companion that is a lots of creature that has its own mind and can be a little chaotic, would you consider the mount in your story a product of wild or chaotic magic?
No, and I can't tell you why, because that would be a spoiler.
Is it an enemy to lovers where it's a shapeshifter and it's really her friend that played a prank on her?
Gross.
Oh, gross. No. This is a baby, sir. My God. What is wrong with you? Close your ears, baby Felix. It's okay.
That's good.
Oh, Jana,
you broke her. You just absolutely broke her.
I think
one of these days we should do a spoilers episode with these ladies where we put, all the big spoilery things around it and then say, okay, we're going to go through some of these books that we've been teasing you with. It's now been enough months that you should have read. And if you've read and you always wanted to know, send us your questions and we'll let them spoil all the things. It'd be fun.
And then the other part of that is we can hire an editor and do an edited version where we just bleep out every time they say a spoiler. So it'll be like, blah, 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 bleep, blah, blah, blah.
And then that
would be hilarious.
That would be hilarious.
I like it.
And then we can let Kacey have free reign to cuss, and we just bleep those out too. And pretty soon we'd be like doing Morse code with the bleeping.
Yeah, I don't want to be in charge of that, so that's all yours.
That's why I said hire that one out. I don't want to either.
Yeah.
So when you look for wild magic, is that something that it's pleasant to find when you read the fantasy books, or is that something you actively look for, that level of sort of chaotic nature of the magic?
I'm always just looking for a fun story. So whether it is, my TBR is
insane,
going to murder me at some point. It doesn't matter, but
murder at first.
Whatever I'm hearing, murder. Yes, somehow. If I can live to be 287, I will read all the books currently on my TBR. But no, anytime I see like a fun recommendation of like, these books have the blah 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 thing, or this was just a super fun story, or what a cool new way to think about magic. I'm like, I'll try it. So I'm looking for the story first more than the style of magic.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have found a way to immortality, because the genie can't give you immortality, but what you can ask for is you don't die till you've finished every book on your book TBR list.
There you go.
And since you're always buying new books, you'll never die.
Always. Genius.
You get around, or you could always, the other way around that is just you want to live until every member of Congress is honest, and then you're still immortal. Those are the two. But book review, the book list one is more fun for me.
I feel like you have to add like some writers to that though, like youth and health.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. You end up like the mummy. See, this is why we like your mind, Melissa. Nice.
Also, like, I don't really want to hang around long after everyone I love is gone.
Well, you could just include them in the wish, like their TBR list too. And then they have to buy all your friends' books, or else.
You want to stay alive? Keep buying the books, baby.
JR's villain origin story.
Here we are.
Yeah,
now we
right.
know. Now we know.
Yeah,
I'm just rules there.
I'm just picturing the genie from Aladdin, like giving you serious side eye right now, JR.
Yeah, I love it.
Come on.
There are some memes that are floating around the army side of the TikTok world that people, or not TikTok, Twitter, I guess. They send me the funny memes, and that was one of them, was that you wish that everybody who was blind and deaf could see and hear again, and then you take it away and make them pay for it in monthly installments.
Yeah, the subscription.
Oh,
saw that.
Rude.
Brought to you by EA Games, apparently.
There you go. All right, so I have a question to circle back to. We're going to circle back. So we talked a little bit about, do you have ceremony and ritual and that kind of stuff. But the one that I want to go to is, what about using magic items in order to kick off your feral magic? Because I've got beautiful crystals back here behind me, and I'm thinking about some of the great feral magic that I've read. So maybe methods that open you up to the magic? Do cool little dragon carved statuettes and stuff? Do we allow those in our whole? They're not necessarily a ceremony, but could they maybe be a gateway to the magic?
Yeah, why not?
To magic.
Yeah,
or a focusing tool.
Or a focusing tool, or like an essential part of the ceremony where, you know, it's like, I mean, how many magic items have we read about that, like, it's a magical sword, but it gets bound to its bearer, you know, by the spilling of blood, right? Like, that's a ritual. That's a thing, you know? So yeah, absolutely. I think utilizing magical items is a time-honored tradition in feral magic. And especially when you start thinking about, like, again, I'm just sort of riffing on this. There was I'm going, I don't really remember who it was by, but it was like, it was, you know, there was a magic sword, and the person who found the magic sword, like, you know, wanted to get revenge on everybody. And so this sword was like this killing machine. It just turned her into like this complete badass. And she slaughtered all of her enemies. But then, you know, at the end, it's not really a spoiler because I don't even remember the name of the story, but at the end of the story, like, she's there with, you know, the man she loves who rode to the rescue, and they're victorious. But the sword is like, I'm not done. I need more. I need more. I need more. And so she ends up like killing them both there at their wedding ceremony. It's like super dark, right? Tell me that's not feral magic.
Nice.
You know,
Feral magic.
Yeah.
It's like one of those, the blade can't be sheathed until it's drawn blood. I've seen that done before.
Right. Yeah. Or, you know, it has this thirst, and it essentially possesses its bearer, and then, you know, the bearer loses their will, their almost agency evil. As a human. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So this was another Mercedes Lackey book, not the main series in Valdemar, but it was the Oathbound, where one of the main characters, she had a sword that like would only work for women and would like make the bearer either stronger with magic if they didn't have magic, or it would make them like a proficient, at the very least, swordsman. And Kethri, that's right. Kethri, like, she was a mage, so she didn't need the help magically, but she did need the help with, like, you know, sword fighting. That sword was possessed by a very cantankerous old woman who had been a master bladesmith and, like, infused her soul into this sword. And the way that Mercedes Lackey carried that particular item through that trilogy and then over to the main storyline was super cool. Especially because the sleepier the spirit was, the less controlled and the more wild the magic was. But the more awake she was, the more the sword bearer could argue with the sword going, no. We are not doing the side quest right now. We have to go over here. It was really cool.
I love the power inherent in pretty rocks and crystals and stones and things that I may have written a whole book about it. So yeah, I think absolutely magic items. Yeah,
The more woo-woo, the better for you.
They don't even have to be woo-woo. That's the thing. Like,
no, the power to bring down empires because they're after your treasure. That's what she's talking about.
And if you're listening at home and not watching, the Kacey and Melisa have their plates. They're waving at us. Or in Kacey's case, the actual book.
She does. Yeah. Casey currently has the only book that is not in my possession. It's very exciting. So people at Dragon Con will soon also have it. But we're just petting it now. So
yeah,
listeners.
So pretty.
And I will also say, like, the amount of things I have that could totally be cursed objects or powered magical objects in real life. Yeah. This is made out of obsidian that I just showed. Yes, I love them. So yes, hell yes. Have shiny, sparkly crystal things in your books. One, I will read them because I want them. And two, you can use them as props to help people want to buy your books. And, you know, and maybe it's inspired because once you accidentally wandered into a Fey jewelry shop. I don't know how these things happen to us. But
could happen.
We'll find it again one day. It's going to happen.
We will.
Yeah. One day it will reemerge into our dimension.
Color changing sapphires. Here we come.
Cannot wait.
Let's do it.
It's in an alternate reality.
I really don't know, JR. I went to it once and I have never found it again.
You have to build your own. If you build it, they will come.
I would love to buy to build my own Fey jewelry shop. Let's go.
So
awesome.
when it comes to wild magic, do you think it could be more impactful on the characters and the setting if it happens in modern times or in second world traditional fantasy type settings?
Oh.
I think it depends. Yeah, it depends on the story. Yeah.
In my head, I'm just picturing like if you're in a second world fantasy kind of setting where magic is already accepted, when wild magic is like, yeah, magic going to do what magic going to do. But if you're in the middle of, I don't know, downtown Boston, where magic isn't real, because of course it's not real, except it is, then you got some splaining to do. And it
sounds like a very Dresden problem.
That would be awesome.
Oh,
see, I was hearing the Lucy Boston voice.
Yeah. That's how the habit got clean, man. I mean, we use magic, so you're welcome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's also the trade-off is you got a clean habit, but you can't use the tea. Good luck. Green line doesn't work anymore.
Green line don't work anymore.
So sad.
Interesting.
No, but the thing that you can still do in a second world though, JR, and it's a thing I love, and we just barely touched on in the last episode, is when magic has been forgotten or stamped out or outlawed. And then it's there's also plenty of forgotten magic in Mage Light.
Yeah, there's also forgotten magic in Mage Light.
Love, like it is a trope that is so playable because there's so many ways you can go, and I love it.
And there's kind of forgotten magic in Rise from Ruin.
Yeah, we used to have the power to do great and terrible things in that universe.
Yeah,
and now there are less of those.
Yeah,
still pretty cool, but yeah. So it is like that is such a fun thing to play with, and I love the impact of it because then you're not constrained by like Earth and the things that people know. Like there's a less suspension of disbelief, I think, required, but you can still do the same like mind-blowing, chaotic shenanigans.
The trade-off is if you set it in modern world, people can some of the world building is already done because people just know.
That is true.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Which is why I say it just totally depends on the story, right?
Because you're always doing different things. Modern world, you have to think about, especially if it's open magic, well, either direction, but you have to think about what are the consequences given what we know. But it's just a trade-off as to what you're doing, because there's some really, really fun things you could do with wild magic in the middle of some of the places that I have been, both rural and urban, because we always think urban magic and urban fantasy, but I've been to some places out here that they are haunted as hell and weird stuff happens. And there's magic in the West that has not been tamed by any stretch of a speckled imagination.
Yeah. And the cornfields.
There's places, man.
The forests of New England. I mean, there's a reason why horror lives here.
Swamps.
Yeah.
There's so much of our country that is like untamed. We don't think about it.
Yeah. I love it so much.
That's one of the things that gets me when I see this stuff in the modern world. I'm just picturing the guy that has to come clean that up.
Right.
Or the guy with the little clip. Was it Men in Black, Swamp Gas?
Yeah.
Somebody trying to explain everything away.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gotta be something else.
I love it.
It's funny that you mentioned that. Larry Correia has his Monster Hunter International series where, the trope is essentially that it's an urban fantasy world that is our world with monsters and supernatural creatures that have always existed. They're just kept on the down low by government agencies and contractors and whatnot. In the next Monster Hunter Files story, I think both Marisa and I have stories where you have someone who's like, that piece of it, that keeping it from the public is like an essential part of both of the stories that we told, both of which are set in New England too, which is kind of fun.
I mean, are we talking eldritch horrors, elder gods, Lovecraftian, since you said it in New England?
So Marisa's is really, really hungry, creepy sirens.
Ocean. With this creepy ocean.
Yeah. And then mine actually is not so much an eldritch horror as it is like a carnivorous muse. A little bit more psychological horror than anything else, really.
I can't tell you what mine is without spoilers. So.
Yep.
So I have to ask Kacey, since you like the New England area for the spooky, have you ever written Miskatonic University into one of your stories?
I have not specifically put Miskatonic University into one of my stories, but I know that there is a grand tradition of doing that. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
And so, for those of you who don't know, Miskatonic University is the university from the Massachusetts, Arkham, Massachusetts, from Lovecraft. And since it's
Yeah,
public
H.P.
domain,
Lovecraft.
anybody who wants to signal, like, you know, there's going to be some dark shit coming up, they mention Miskatonic University.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eldritch horror. So I have stood in my backyard while the fog rises through the trees and reaches out to me with like fingers, and been like, "Oh, this is what we're talking about." I have had that happen.
When I think wild magic, that'd be kind of cool. But in my head, I always go to that scene in The Mummy where the face comes out of the sandstorm, because I've been in sandstorms like that, minus the face, obviously. But I could see like something coming if you're looking for like a horror element from those
Seaweed.
Mhm.
When you see the shadows of seaweed in a wave, and you can't tell exactly what that is, but it could be a fucking kraken. Sorry for the language. Like, it could be.
Why is it always tentacles?
Something about nature is there's so much inspiration that can give you some weird stuff. I remember, like, I was not in the Navy, but I went on a tiger cruise when my stepdad was still in, when I was like 10. And I remember we were out, I don't know how far out we were, probably not far, but I remember looking down over at night and the ocean around the ship glowed for some reason. And I don't know what
that phosphor glow. Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, like, you could turn that into something like, I don't know, magical coolness, right? Like, there's so much in nature that could inspire all that. When you guys create your own wild magic, do you let nature inspire you, or do you just, you know, go on a, I don't know, Oskalwaza trip and, you know, smoke the good stuff?
So, not quite the end of that, but yes, nature definitely inspires. I mean, everything. Like, none of us create from a vacuum, right? We were driving down to Huntsville to take the kids to see like the NASA Space Research Center place down there. And we drove through this area of Mississippi that was just engulfed in this. It wasn't kudzu. It was some other type of vine, like just engulfing the forest on either side of the highway. And it was the coolest, creepiest thing I had ever seen. And I've seen plenty of places like that before, but there was something about that. And I'm like, oh, that's going into Rise from Ruin. And it did, because I'm like, creepy vines. Yes.
Yeah.
So nature, 100% inspiring.
Yeah. I mean, beyond the ocean thing, there's full on a carnivorous kudzu story that Kacey and I wrote in 13 Floors of Horror. It was super fun. Because nature. And then I was on a panel at JordanCon this year that was incredibly well moderated. And as the moderator was pulling comparisons between our books of the people on the panel, I realized, oh, yeah, living in Baton Rouge during Katrina and watching what happened with the levees and the Mississippi and everything else, 100% influences how I think of magic, and that, like, humans totally think we can control this. We totally think we understand the consequences of our actions. Nah. And we just make it worse and worse and worse in our attempts to, no, it's going to do this thing. If I impose enough rules on it, it's going to do the thing. No, it's not. It's bigger than you. And that is absolutely how magic works in Plague of Magic. It's bigger than you, but people are insisting that they can figure out how to make it work.
Yeah. I just keep coming back to the aviation metaphor, right? Like, you know, we're fond of saying we own the sky. No.
Yeah.
Having been in severe turbulence where I was completely not in control of my aircraft for a short period of time, and my only recourse was to put the damn thing on the ground so I did not die. No, we don't own the sky.
It's crazy.
The sky allows us to use it.
Yeah, that was one of the things that when you hear about the war in Afghanistan, there were parts when they went over the mountain in Afghanistan where there wasn't enough oxygen for lift, so they sort of angled up and hoped when they fell back down they'd be on the other side of the mountain. With those helicopters. That was one of the missions that I think it's the Night Stalkers, which is the Air Force Spec Ops helicopter unit. Is that right?
The Night Stalkers is the 160th SOAR. It's an Army Special Operations helicopter unit.
The Air Force helicopter unit was the one that was in the Army Times doing that, where they were talking about they were just hoping they timed their lift right, because at the top of the arc they didn't have enough oxygen.
That's
so there's a lot of things at play there, but But yeah, no, people do crazy shit in the air. That's true.
And I'm just glad I kept my feet firmly on the ground.
Yeah. Fair.
I mean, it's fun.
So speaking of helicopters, let's merge that into our final question of the evening. And if we go longer, we're going to have to do a round 3 at some point. But do you like the idea I know it's break our hearts. Do you like the idea of merging wild or chaos magic with actual machines? So assuming, somewhat modern-ish setting, because you could do steampunk, you could do, Second World Fantasy, they just had equipment. But what do you think about merging the two?
Yes. Again, it has to be done well, right? But like so people have all kinds of feelings, but the Legend of Korra was so much fun when they were showing like the progression of technology and then how some people were using the various elemental magics with technology. That is cool as heck. And I think anytime you have like infused or magicked technology, because it already is, right? Like I have to talk sweetly to my Wi-Fi for it to work. When I am mean to my cell phone, it takes it out on me. Like we already have slightly magic technology. So imagine if that were like real and it was moody. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying when I use the grok to do quick research on things, like when I found out there are 9 invasive vines in Mississippi aside from kudzu. I also thank the grok because you just never know if it comes real. So I'm with you. You got to romance the machine.
Think the things.
That might be its own genre sometime, but that was not where I was going.
Oh, it exists already.
It's already
there.
Oh, it's totally a thing. Well, friend of the show, Melisa McShane, who's on frequently, she has a series where there are devices, and devices do all sorts of things, but all of them have to be loaded up with this motive force that is pure magic. So there are certain people that are devisers, and they can sense the various ley lines and magical pools in the world, and they will actually go to those places and take these little motive forces and fill them up with magical batteries, and then they get put in all sorts of things. And so you see all these very cool devices they have, some of them very, very wild and crazy, and some of them things that you go, oh yeah, that's the great thing, this heats up your towels. And I'm going, we have one of those, but because they don't have electricity and stuff, it's all done through these magic devices. And she does a great job on that. That's her Crown of Tremontaine series, and it is that it progresses through of the different things they do with the motive forces.
I feel like I read
Edie Sky's Titan Mage.
Really that is so good.
So this is a family-friendly show. So fair warning, this is an explicit harem series. It is smutty, but it is such a good series. It's such a good fantasy series, and she does such a fantastic job of marrying up the magic in her world with the technology of the giant mech robots and airships and just all of the things. So yeah, if you don't mind an adult harem series, highly recommend it. It's really, really, really good.
If you want to hear
it's even so good that like I would say if the sex scenes are not your thing, it would be worth reading and either flipping through or fast forwarding your audiobook because it's such a good series.
392, we had her on to talk about it. And I will say, because it is a little steamy and I know the author, it was sometimes a little awkward. I'm like,
no. I can't make eye contact with you while we're talking.
Right? Well, the best part is all of her dedications in her books are like, thanks to my husband for all the research.
Nice.
The best.
And on that happy note, so what about you, Melissa? Do you like the idea of mixing machinery with the magic, the chaos magic?
Yes and no. I like it, but I like it from the perspective of, oh no, everything just went really, really, really wrong because you are taking something that is wild and you are constraining it, and you can only, in my headcanon here, you can only do that for so long before it breaks free with possibly really cool story, structure type disasters that would be really fun for the reader and not so much fun for the characters. So now I might have to think on that one. Thank you.
And as we bring this to a close, before I let them tell me where we can stalk them, Jana, what about you? You've talked about Melissa's series, but have you read it anywhere else or done it yourself?
Oh, yeah. I love doing the how do we mesh magic with machinery and technology. I think it's tremendously fun. I mean, I just put in the chat. This is how we get Transformers. This is how we get that they're not only machines, they have a personality, but then they can do cool stuff. Okay, sign me up. And
we've done a panel on big stompy robots in mech. It's 2 separate panels. We actually have one that we've been meaning to schedule about mech, the capability of having like mech suits and mech armor and all of that in a fantasy world.
Nice.
So we definitely have room to do that. And the line between that and is it a mech or is it a golem? Because
what level are you at, and when is it the person's got to actually be inside of it, or could you have a magical connection to it like they do with the avatar and things like that? There's so much you can do there with how do you make the machinery run, and that line between technology and magic, it's really, really fuzzy, and that can be fun storytelling.
Wasn't one of the last Voltrons a little bit on the line there? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
I loved that.
All right, so this is the part of the winding down of our interview, dear listener, where I remind you to please be kind and speak your mind on the reviewing platforms. Your reviews help the right readers find the right book, so do your part. And since we're talking about doing your part, you should also click the link in the show notes. Go register for the Dragon Con voting, or the Dragon Award voting specifically, that will be given out at the con. And you can pick between Marisa and Kacey and Melisa. We don't want to know, but their covers are up. No judgment. I'm just saying.
They're all beautiful.
They're all beautiful.
Some are just more winners than others.
Just go vote, right? Because it's a fan award. Yeah. And so it's a better award if you go and vote for your favorites. Yeah. So 100%. even if that isn't mine and Marisa's book or mine and Tom and Justin's book, doesn't matter. Go vote for your favorites. Make it.
I was almost gonna not vote in protest because they took away my Mill Sci-Fi category, but then I saw, because I didn't know your guys' cover was in it, but I knew Melissa's was. I'm like, okay, well now I have to vote.
Yep. Now you got to do it.
Now you have choices to make, JR, but we're not going to ask.
Yeah, my ballot is sitting in my inbox too. I have to click the link after the show.
Excellent.
Heck yes.
I'm not saying dice will be involved, but now that I know there might be dice involved.
You got to vote with vote with your heart or your chaos. I love it.
I'm just saying. So Melisa, you get to pick. Do you want to be odds or evens when I roll the dice after the show?
Odds.
Okay.
May the odds be ever in your favor.
All right. So Kacey, if we want to stalk you, and I don't recommend you do, her husband is well armed and trained to use them. But if someone wanted to stalk you online safely.
I was about to say, so is Kacey.
But that didn't roll off the tongue quite so well.
That's fair. We're just here to help.
We're calling back to what a badass Easy is,
Which is true. Yeah.
100%. He is a badass. And he's well armed and he loves me a lot. But so don't stalk me. But please come to visit me on my website, which is at www.kaceyezell.net or .com. Either one works. I own both. From there, you can find all my social media links. And more importantly, you can find a thing called the Dragon's Horde. So the Dragon's Horde is my membership program. Basic membership is totally free. You get weekly updates from me about what's going on in my life and my works in progress and, cool recommendations and cover art reveals before anyone else has seen them, which just happened this week. So there's that. But if that's not enough for you and you would like to support me directly financially, there are 2 paid tiers where you can do that. And you can then get early access to the first drafts of basically everything I write. So that's pretty cool.
Nice. Next, we have Marisa with 1 S. Wolf.
Yes. That's me, Marisa. You can find me at Marisa with 1 S, marisawolf.net or marisawolf.com. I go both ways. You can sign up for my newsletter there. And if you do, I only do it once a month, but you get 4 free short stories for joining over the course of several days. So then you're hooked and you have to stay. So go do that. If you are in Atlanta for Labor Day weekend, you can join all of us, all 3 of the Feral Ladies, and 85,000 of our favorite people at Dragon Con, where you could also get one of the very first copies of A Plague of Magic, because it comes out the Tuesday after Dragon Con. So Dragon Con attendees can get early copies.
And if dear listener, your back is bugging you a little bit. Sometimes mine does. I have it on good authority that if you sign up for her newsletter, the Faye doll that she bought at the Faye store, this voodoo doll, but totally not a voodoo doll, she will pull a pin out and your back will feel a little better.
Or I'll put it in and your back will feel a little better.
You know,
Right.
Whatever. Like, I'm just saying, magic could happen.
Magic could happen. Fully agree. So yeah, come hang out with me on the internet streets or at Dragon Con or next year at LibertyCon or wherever else I'll be.
If anybody finds that book stall or whatever, do they get like a free signed copy if they can like point it out exact address?
Oh my God, if they can find, oh my God, yes. If
The
you
Faye
can find
store?
my Faye jewelry store in New Orleans, I will go there and I will not buy you anything, but I'll take pictures and I will bring you a book.
it's a new goal for us is to find that shop.
Yeah.
Now I just want to know because reasons, you know.
I just I have tried so hard to find it again, and things that were said to me indicate I will encounter it again. I just don't.
Soon.
It's a whole
I
story.
just got done reading a ghost hunting series set in New Orleans, so I'm like I'm there for it. You know, I'm just avoid the lady in the Creole.
Like of course it happened in New Orleans.
It's too funny.
Right? Yeah.
Right in bed.
New Orleans is all feral magic. You
Magic.
went to New Orleans and that entire place is feral magic. End of discussion. But now it's Melissa's turn to tell us where she can find where we can find
the
her.
cool thing about New Orleans first is it is like the Australia of America where everything there wants to kill you. So be warned.
In truth.
You know, those beignets did not want to kill me. The beignets treated me very nicely. Thank you.
Florida is the Australia of America. Carry on.
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
Okay,
Melissa.
you can find me at melissaolthoff.com or .net. You can find me on every social media platform that exists. If you go to my website, you can sign up for my newsletter too, and you can get a free short story that is the start of my completed space opera sci-fi adventure series, Salvage Buddy. And this one just came out 5 days before Rise from Ruin came out. So those were my 2 releases for the year back to back, because that's just the kind of chaos we roll with around here.
That's it.
And yes, I will be at Dragon Con. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I get to be an attending pro. We get to do all these fun things together. I am trying not to panic at time math because this is coming up quick, y'all. And yeah, that's my last thing for the year, but you can find me all over the place next year with these 2. So we're going to have a good time.
What about you,
Jared,
Jana?
I forgot to talk about my book. Can I talk about my book?
Oh, absolutely. Talk about books.
Sorry.
Please talk about your book.
Here's my book. I have many books, but this is the most recent one. This is Mage Light. Mage Light is a fantasy adventure. It is basically the origin story for an adventuring party that consists of a caster, a warrior, a forester, and a rogue. However, the caster is a young woman who all her life has been told she's just not good enough and that she should just give up on her dreams. She believes the first part, but not the second, and gets her heart broken in spectacularly public and humiliating fashion, and ends up running away into the forest where there are bandits who chase her, and the rest is history or destiny, one of the two. So anyway, it's Mage Light and it's a lot of fun, and you will probably like it if you like wild magic and rediscovered magic and all those things.
All right, Jana, if we're going to stalk you on the internet.
Well, because you told me that I should.
Fun, so be safe. I'm just saying.
Yeah. You told me that I needed to, bring down the number of places to send you. So if you go to linktr.ee/OpalKingdomPress, so now I have my very own. You can find links to all the things, or you can just go to opalkingdompress.com and you will find links to me, to my alternate me's. And one of these days I'm going to get all the books up because I was told the other day that link's not working. But that's where you can find things. If you are a writer and you like to write short fiction, I have anthology calls up there. I'm open for gargoyles until the September 15th. So if you have a gargoyle story, I want it. And we'll see what else is coming up soon. So there we go. Nice, short, sweet, and to the point. So let's go into the outro, JR.
All right. And you can find us on our link tree at linktr.ee /Blasters and Blades podcast. Again, linktree/Blasters and Blades podcast, where we link to all the things: the BitChute, the Rumble, the YouTube, the TikTok, the Twitters, the Spotify, the Discord, the Blasters and Blades Facebook group and Facebook page. We have our email, blastersandbladespodcast@gmail.com. Again, blastersandbladespodcast@gmail.com for professional purposes only, people. Save the shenanigans from M Stabby Stab over there on the Instagram, the Twitter, and the email. You can support the show by going to buymeacoffee.com/ author J.R. Handley. Again, buymeacoffee.com/author J.R. Handley, where you write in the comment section that it's for the podcast, and I promise I will keep my co-hosts duly caffeinated. They will drink that coffee brand coffee till it pours out of their eyeballs and we swim away on a river of Java. It will be gloriously delicious. What a way to drown, people. What a way to drown. These episodes aren't free to produce, so every penny counts, and we greatly appreciate it. If you want some of that coffee brand coffee for yourself, link is in the show notes. Discount code is podcast grunts. You get 10% off. We get a little bit of a kickback. It's a win-win, people. And with that, I would like to thank you for spending some of your precious time with us. For my crazy co-host, I am J.R. Handley, and this was the Blasters Blaze podcast. We'll be back next week at the same time, where we'll indulge our love of nerd culture, cheesy jokes, and all things that go boom. All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming on. This was fun. We'll definitely have to have you back again for round 3, because why not?
Yes.
With that, I'm going to hit the end button before Kacey starts cussing again.